according to RIDOT.
$864 billion. That was the federal budget deficit in June, triple what it was in June of last year. It's the gap between the $1.1 trillion in spending and the mere $241 billion in federal taxes that month. About half the spending was on the federal Paycheck Protection Program, and the monthly revenue was off 28% because the deadline to pay taxes was moved from April 15th to July 15th. But the Congressional Budget Office says the deficit is tracking toward $3.7 trillion for the full fiscal year. Disneyland Hong Kong is closing again just 3 weeks after it reopened. Hong Kong went 3 weeks with 0 new coronavirus infections, but it's recorded nearly 200 new cases since July 5th. Tiny compared to U.S. numbers, but a potentially troubling trend. With all the staying-at-home orders, screen time is way up for everyone, but experts say it's a problem for kids.
We know that especially in children that this can lead to difficulties with sleep patterns, emotional difficulties, behavioral difficulties, academic difficulties at times.
Although the last few weeks of last school year were saved by online.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Yes, good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. My name's Joe Callahan. With us this morning, Ed Carew from the Carew Investment Group. Good morning, Ed.
Greetings.
Greetings to you. John Martin from AARP is with us. Hello, John.
Hey, good morning, Joe. Good morning, everyone.
Nice to have you with us. And we expect Linda Thibault to be with us, but I hung up on her when she called in, and I went to hit hold and missed it, and then hung up the phone, and then she went away. So, Linda, please call back. Will you? And while you're calling in,
John could double up, you know. Playing the part of Linda Thibault
will be John Martin. That's right.
He's a very talented guy.
All right, Ed. Time for first message though from the Carew Investment Group.
Okay, thanks, Joe. A message from the Carew Investment Group. Yeah, okay. We're at 68 Cumberland Street at the corner of Clinton and Cumberland Streets right here in Woonsocket. The Carew Investment Group offers you personal management of investment accounts, and depending on what you're looking for, whether it be to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, we'll put together a plan just for you. We focus on using quality, dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment-quality bonds, exchange-traded mutual funds, and we use the advantages offered by IRAs. You can contact Paul or you can contact me at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free, no-obligation portfolio review at 765-8880. Our office is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket, and our phone number is 765-8880. You can also email me at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit our website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com. There's plenty of information about us and our services there. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Thanks, Ed. All right, we're still waiting for Linda to give us a call back. So in the meantime, Ed.
Yes, sir.
Your buddy, your good friend, your compadre.
Who's this?
Elon Musk.
Oh, Elon.
Passed Warren Buffett in wealth.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
$6.1 billion he is worth. Now you figure he wouldn't be with with all the SpaceX stuff. He would have put a lot of money into that and not be as wealthy. But turns out not to be correct.
But Tesla stock has been flying.
Is it doing very well?
Yeah. Yeah.
What,
it hit $1,700 a share yesterday, almost $1,800.
Is that Linda with us, Dave?
It is I.
Hi, Linda. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Did not mean to hang up on you. It's nothing personal.
Okay, I know that.
All right. I'm glad that you're here. So Tesla stock is doing very well.
Yes.
Is it their cars? Are they selling?
Yeah, they're selling fairly well. Yeah.
Okay. And so the stock has gone up really high. So good for him. Although I had to read, I'm reading the interview, reading the article about Elon. He doesn't like his fellow billionaires. He's not a big fan of Musk. He says not Musk. He's not a fan of Buffett. Musk went on to say that That Buffett, he's trying to find out, does Coke or Pepsi deserve more capital? That's kind of a boring job. All right. Let's see. Musk was the. But Buffett also criticized Musk, saying last year that although Musk was a remarkable guy, he had room for improvement. Would that be his personality, Ed?
Well, his personality is a little bit different, that's for sure. Yeah, did you know that Elon Musk Tesla is the most expensive company in the world as far as automakers? The value of Tesla is bigger than Toyota, which was the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's like wicked big.
Wicked big. All right. Well, I'm glad you're good friends with him. So.
Oh yeah, we get along great. You know.
You have drinks at least once every 5 years, right?
Yeah, the last time was 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Linda, I'm glad you're here because I wanted to bring up something to Linda because Linda's a registered nurse. And I heard you are, right? Aren't you?
I am.
All right,
Yes,
there you
I
go.
am.
There you go. You kind of said that with a question mark. But
No,
the point is, we had it on our national news, and I had to chuckle to myself because they're talking about having a COVID-19 vaccine by the end of the summer. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then they go on and say right after that, we're not sure if the vaccine works. Isn't that the definition of a vaccine? It kills the problem that you're trying to. That's why you have the vaccine, right?
Usually, yes.
Okay.
Yes, usually, but also it takes a whole lot longer usually
Well, yeah.
to develop a vaccine.
How can you call it a vaccine if you don't know if it works?
Well, what are you going to call it?
I don't know.
You call it a vaccine, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't work, you say, that didn't work.
Yeah, that didn't
We'll
work.
develop another one.
Yeah. And I think that's why they're having so many trials and all. They're working on so many. But usually vaccines take a while to develop.
Well, okay.
You know, if they have something by the end of summer, that's pretty quick.
But the question I have then, let's say you have a baby, all right? And you bring it in after a couple of months it's been alive, and you bring it in for its first set of vaccines.
Right.
To prevent them from getting whatever disease we're getting them from. Well, they don't tell you, well, we're not sure if this vaccine works.
No,
they actually tell you this will stop polio, or this is going to stop the measles.
DPT. Yeah,
and DPT.
Exactly. But, those vaccines have been around, but they've been tried and true and tested and all of the above.
But shouldn't it be called another word besides vaccine?
Maybe they should call it a potential vaccine.
It's a potential vaccine, I think, and that's why they're doing so many trials. I mean,
right.
I've lost count of.
Everybody and his brothers got trials going on, and they're all fast-tracked.
John, should it be called
fast-tracking?
Should it be called a potential vaccine?
Yeah.
I think that the worrisome thing for some people is that what it is an experimental vaccine.
Yeah, they're
All right, we call
exactly.
that too.
That's exactly what they are. They are experimental until they're proven.
So who do we?
And that will give some people pause, and that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
So I've heard many people say that they won't. In my own family, that said that they will not take a vaccine that's developed in 2 or 3 months and not proven. So will people opt to have the vaccine?
Who's going to volunteer to try it?
A lot of people.
Well, they've already got people volunteering now for some of the trials.
Okay.
Yeah, they're testing them on humans.
Well, they're better people than me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you won't even get an easy pass. Can't go by you.
Yeah.
I still don't have an easy pass, Ed.
You still don't.
No.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So I just it's semantics. It's the wording.
Well, I mean, it is,
using the
but
word
I
vaccine.
think, John, they're experimental.
Yeah.
They're experimental, and even. They haven't even told us for sure. Research hasn't even proven yet that if you get it once, you can't get it twice. It doesn't seem that. It seems like you could get it again. So, I think there's still a lot that we don't know.
Okay.
That we don't know.
Has there been any documented cases of someone getting it twice in the United States?
I've heard that people have tested positive more than
twice?
once.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
All right, I haven't heard
You know,
that.
there's so much information coming in, and you know, that it's hard to sort it out of what is and what isn't anymore.
Okay. Well, we just keep waiting, right?
That's the best we could do. But you know, one of the things that I had a discussion yesterday with my son. I was watching, and you know, there was the map where all these states are all red again. You know, because
Yes.
they're having the big. And there's Little Rhode Island, this little strip of. Yeah, did anybody see that map? It was
see
just.
them.
It was just this teeny little ribbon of yellow.
Up in the
And
Northeast.
that's Rhode Island, you know, and it just kind of struck me that, you know, maybe the governor's doing something right here. You know.
So I don't know if you heard, Linda, there was another restaurant in Rhode Island that closed in North Providence.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Do I have the name of the restaurant?
Yeah,
the Avenue Grill.
Avenue
is
Grill,
in North
yeah.
Providence. I'm not sure exactly
They
where
just
it is.
said on the morning news, though, that it's reopened.
They have reopened? But did
Yeah.
you hear what the owner had to say?
Yes, that it was a hoax.
The whole thing's a hoax. And quote,
But he denied saying that, but yeah.
oh, he
yeah.
denies saying that?
He denied. He said he did not say that.
Oh, okay. Well, did he say that the people that have died were going to die anyway? That's another quote.
Yes, I don't know about that, but I've heard that, you know.
Okay.
Well, you know, it's only in the nursing homes. They're going to die anyway, so.
Well, it's not all in the nursing homes, but...
No, I know, but I mean, we've heard people say that.
So I wanted to bring that up to you, Linda, because I know it probably made your blood boil.
Yes. Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, it did. Thank you very much.
I got to march right down there and tell him a thing or two, right?
Yes.
Well, but, you know...
I pity the fool.
That's right. I pity the fool. But there are people, and they're in the minority, I would say. But there's probably a good 20 to 25% of people that believe just like him.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I've heard people say that, and even like when you see the big, where was it? They had a COVID party. And all the young kids do that.
College students like to do that.
And yet,
And they want to get it. Yeah.
But sadly, a 30-year-old died.
Oh, did
from
they?
Being at one of those COVID parties.
Wow.
And it's been reported that his last words to the nurse was, some
Boy,
of the
I'm
last
an
words
idiot.
No, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, okay, there you go. That's a good one. It, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
There's definitely the uptick on the young folks, so. Look, testing positive now.
Look at Florida and California. California has basically shut down the entire state. Which,
I don't want us to do that again. I don't want.
which I don't understand how then they think they're going to play baseball in 2 weeks.
I know.
Especially out in California and down in Florida. Even if there aren't any fans in the stadiums. How can
and yet
the players
they're opening
play?
Disney.
And Disney and Universal are open.
And yet they're
Disney.
opening, Florida's drowning there, so to speak, and yet they'll open Disney.
What's that, John?
Disney closed in California.
Did Disneyland close? Well, they would have to because of the governor's ruling.
They opened and reclosed, yeah.
So they get to open for what, one day?
Yeah, I think they were open for 1 day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people went there. I didn't see any pictures. I saw pictures of people lining up in Florida to go to
one of the
Disney
stories
World.
is that the Disney workers are pushing back very hard. They do not feel safe.
They don't. Okay.
And they should. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're putting themselves at risk.
Unless you're one of the lucky ones and you get to put on one of those costumes, you're perfect. You're perfectly fine.
There you go.
Well, I think that one of the things with Disney that's happening is that they pay rather low wages for the quote day actors.
Yes.
And so if they can collect benefits, well, why take the risk?
Right.
That's good. That's a good point. Ed, what's Disney's stock at recently? Have you do you know off the top of your head? Have you seen it?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say $120 plus or minus.
Still not bad, huh?
Now I'll bring it up and not have to guess.
Because John said Disneyland in California was able to open for a day, and then they had to close. Because of the governors saying everything had to close in California. Did you find it?
Yeah, I did. It closed at $116.22 yesterday, down about 2.5%.
Okay.
So it must have been around about 119.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're still doing okay then. stock.
Yeah.
Stock
Oh,
wise.
yeah. It is.
I don't think we have to worry about Disney too much. We don't have to say poor Disney.
No, yeah.
Well, they went down as low as about $85 back in April, March or so. Yeah.
Linda, you sound very
It's,
sarcastic.
It's always been kind of a Mickey Mouse operation.
Oh, yeah, good. That's a good one,
Good
John.
one. Good one.
That's-
Good one.
I need my rim shot.
There you
Very
go.
good.
Put up, boom.
That's right. All right,
I'm done for the day.
Oh, no. I'm done. That's right. Well, thank you.
Do everybody a big favor, and
Don't forget to tip your waitresses, right? All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, so we're going to give it over to Ed Carew for a second message from the Carew Investment Group. Take it away, Ed.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Ed Carew here. Are you retiring or retiring soon? Well, that's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, you can call me, Ed Carew, or call Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue. Comments and questions can be called in, 766-1240, or email them into coffee@woonsocketradio.com. Riverfront Patio Dining awaits you at River Falls Restaurant. Enjoy your lunch or dinner as you overlook the Blackstone River. Here are some of the wonderful items on the menu: steak and peppers pizza, baked stuffed haddock, and choice filet mignon. Make your River Falls Restaurant reservations today by calling 401-235-9026. 235-9026, or go online to riverfallscomplex.com. You'll love the Riverfront Patio Dining at River Falls Restaurant, Market Square, Woonsocket.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, what's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is providing security to families and help protect what's important to them. My specialty is picking apart policy details so customers understand their coverages and options. It can be very overwhelming, and I am here to help with that.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England. All right, it's Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew and John Martin and Linda Thibault. And it was Brooks Brothers that filed bankruptcy, right?
Yes, last Wednesday.
The longest running men's clothing store in the United States?
Yeah, I think
Is that
so.
what their claim to fame was?
The menswear supplier to 6 presidents.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
Just during the pandemic, just no one went out and bought suits.
Yeah, guess not.
So, oh well. Had they been going down for the last couple of years?
Couldn't tell you.
No.
It's,
Okay.
it's one of those companies that, don't know.
Gotcha. All right. On another note, we're going to call them the Washington Nothings for right now.
Yes.
NFL team.
Yeah.
Redskins is gone. The Indian logo is gone. And they're working on a new name.
Code Talkers.
They're what?
Code Talkers.
That's what they're going to be called?
Yeah.
The Washington Code Talkers?
I thought they were tossing around
That
red
name
tails,
was
too,
put forward by the Navajo Indians
Yeah.
to honor
okay.
the World War II
Yeah.
Indian Code Talkers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That doesn't...
Doesn't work too well for me, but
it doesn't. It's,
but I wouldn't change the name Redskins either. So
well, that's you.
Yeah.
gotta go with the
Yeah.
times.
But what and it just didn't occur to me because this was announced yesterday, and it didn't occur to me till today. You know what? It's got a Woonsocket connection because the Pop
Yeah.
Warner Football League in Woonsocket are the Woonsocket Redskins,
Yeah.
who use the
Yes,
exact same name and the exact same logo.
Exactly.
What are they going to do?
The Villanovans, the high school, they had their.
That's an Indian logo too.
It's an Indian. You know, we take down the statues, change the names of the streets.
Mm-hmm.
What next?
I don't know.
What next? Do we take the kids away from the parents so that we can indoctrinate them into
Yes.
what we think they should believe? Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does. But I am concerned about what the football, the Pop Warner team in Woonsocket, are they going to do? And will they have to
that
change
was
the name?
mentioned on the news, by the way.
Was it?
The Woonsocket
Redskins?
Redskins. Yeah, that was definitely mentioned, yeah.
And I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were saying, they were throwing out the same questions. Well, why is this being done? And I said, why? Why are they changing their names, and who's behind all of this kind of thing? And I just said, you know what it is? It's Ed. It's money. John, it's money. You know why?
No, why?
John, do you know why? Do you have a guess?
You get to sell all new T-shirts and sweatshirts and hats.
Not that kind of money.
Not that kind of money.
Yeah. No, it's FedEx. FedEx owns the naming rights to the stadium where the Redskins play.
Oh, really?
Yes, and they went to the Redskins and said, you know what? If you don't change your name,
we're pulling.
Our name is coming off of that building.
Yeah.
Along with the $200+ million that we give you every single year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they just said, we'll change our name.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So
yeah.
that's what I mean when I put down the money.
By money. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Money talks. Yeah. No, I had heard that. I had heard that as well. Yeah.
So the question that has been floated, what about the Chiefs and the Braves and the
Braves? They're all talking about it now. They're all talking about changing
the Atlanta Braves came out yesterday and said they weren't changing anything this year. So we're going to wait for the season to come and go. It hasn't even started yet. And then maybe we'll think about it.
It may be that Kansas City becomes the Kansas City Mahomes.
Why not? They're paying him enough.
Yeah.
If money talks,
that's
maybe
right.
he can buy the naming rights of the team.
It's funny. And then there's the Cleveland Indians, and they're thinking about changing their name. The Braves said they don't want to change their name, but they don't want to do. You ever see the Atlanta Braves games, and they play that Indian chant music with the tomahawk. They're going to try to stop. They're going to try to stop doing that, but try to tell 20,000 fans not to do something.
Right.
They're just going to do it anyway.
They've been doing for years.
Yeah, whether or not you play that music or not, they're just going to do it. What you don't hear a lot of talk about, at least not yet, maybe because it's hockey, is the Chicago Blackhawks. Also have an Indian head as their logo.
Yeah.
So
that'll be next. That'll be next.
It may be. It comes around to that. So
yeah.
So we'll see. So the Redskins. The Washington Nothings right now. I kind of like that name. Let's call them the Washington Nothings.
The Zeros.
The Zeros. Yeah. They don't have a nickname yet. Because they're kicking it around and they're checking out different names to see who has the rights to those names, what names are pending, and naming rights. So they don't want to call themselves like the Generals because someone might like the team that plays the Harlem Globetrotters. They already have the rights to that name, so we can't call them that.
It's really too bad that Bruce Sunland isn't around. He was a diehard Washington Redskins fan.
Was he?
He also was not one to hold back on his opinions.
No.
I just wonder what he would say, because he was a fascinating guy. I had the pleasure of working for him in one of his campaigns, and he remained a Redskins season ticket holder for many years. So
I didn't know
I
that
don't know
about
what
him.
Bruce would say. I don't know what Bruce would say.
He would be upset. He wouldn't be
I think
happy.
he would
People
be
like
upset.
history, so there's no need to change the name, but they've done it anyway. We do have a note that's been written into coffee@woonsocketradio.com. Just says, Washington, how about the Red Dogs? REDDOGS. Washington Barbarians. I don't think they'll go with Barbarians. Sentinels.
I would hope not. No, because that might offend somebody.
Maybe Sentinels. That might not be too bad. Although it is a form of violence. Usually, because I look at the Smithfield High School Sentinels, is a man holding a rifle.
Yeah.
We can't have that.
Ooh.
Also,
how about
the Romans?
Washington Insiders.
Whoa. Another good one, John. You're hot.
I like that one.
But boom.
Clowns might work too.
Clowns.
Yeah.
Fools.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I guess they'll take a couple of weeks before they come out with something because football season training camp's supposed to open within a couple of weeks if they're going to start their season. So we'll see if they come up with anything. But it's definitely done. It was official yesterday. Yep, we've definitely retired the name and the logo.
Yeah.
So if you have anything with that logo on it, collector's item. Hang on to it.
Yeah, there you go.
Might be worth some money someday. All right, let's see. Sad news down in the South County area. There was a man that was swimming off of Scarborough Beach over the weekend who disappeared, and they ended up recovering his body. A 64-year-old man from Fitchburg, Massachusetts, by the name of Matthew Smith. His body was recovered yesterday, drowned at Scarborough State Beach. You got to be careful when you're out swimming on the ocean. You just you never know what you're going to run into in terms of fishes and little things that swim around. And but the currents out there are you never know what you're going to run into. Doesn't say if he was swimming with somebody. They always tell you to swim with somebody. In case, but
I don't swim in ocean beaches. It's too scary. I think my turning point was I was at Block Island, and it was a very kind of windy, stormy afternoon. Where you could sort of see you're on borrowed time as far as being outdoors. And I went in the water, and I felt that current, and it
pulling you.
Like, you know what, this is. I'm getting out of here, and I'm not going back.
Well, there was a high rip current warning advisory
over the weekend.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah. That was all weekend long because of Faye. Even though that storm didn't hit us, it still affected the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he went missing, the beach was closed, and there were no lifeguards on duty too.
Right.
Which is. You shouldn't be doing that either, but let's see. And swimming was restricted to waist deep at the state beaches because of the surf and the riptides.
Right.
Don't know if he went out past that, though. And on Sunday, lifeguards at Scarborough Beach had to make several rescues because of that. So, but some people think I can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm stronger than Mother Nature. You'll see. Watch what I do here. So. Oh well, but it's sad news that it was found, and that actress was found in California.
Yeah.
That's a real bizarre story.
Yeah,
because her 4-year-old son was perfectly fine on the boat. So it makes you wonder: did she slip off the boat, or did she do it intentionally?
Yeah,
and just say, son, you stay here and. While I go for a swim or whatever, and did she want to commit suicide or not? I don't know. But it's odd that she ended up in the water and he didn't.
Yeah.
So that's not quite what I heard, but that doesn't mean that what I heard is correct.
What did you hear then?
It's that they have a video surveillance of her and the kid going off the boat into the water for a swim.
Okay.
The kid came back onto the boat, and she did not.
Yeah.
And it said that the body floated up in an area a couple days later, 2, 3, 4 days later, in an area where the water was so
murky.
Yes, murky that the divers that were going to look for her were tethered to each other.
Okay.
So that they could crawl around on the bottom.
All right.
Because they couldn't see anything, and they were tethered to each other so that they would be able to find their way back out.
Okay.
So, something could have happened to her in that area, and maybe she couldn't find her way back out.
Possibly. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Maybe she was helping him, like pushing him up the ladder to climb up, and then she lost strength or whatever.
Could be.
Okay.
Who knows? Who knows?
But
then that whole story that I heard might not be right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now you said.
And actually, too. Joe, this morning they said the little boy who's 4 years old, he can talk and understand.
Right.
He said he and Mom were swimming and Mom helped him up onto the boat. Then he saw her disappear under the water.
Okay. Well, that kind of confirms
the latest I heard on the news this
confirms
morning.
what Ed was saying. So there's no video on the boat, is there?
What?
There's
No,
no
they
video
said they
from the
found
boat?
the little boy alone with his life preserver
Right,
on. So the
right.
whole thing is it's very sad.
It is very sad. It is.
Very sad for that little boy. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and program. It's time for the forecast, and it's being brought to you by Gas Buddy. Fuel better. Today, a partly sunny day with a high temperature near 81. Let's see, there is a chance of some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, kind of like yesterday afternoon. And tonight, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, low of 63, slight chance of some showers and thunderstorms this evening as well. Wednesday's weather, mostly cloudy, and a high near 77. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, low around 60. Thursday, partly sunny, high near 79. And Friday, mostly cloudy and a high near 79. Currently, outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with partly sunny skies, we have 78 degrees. Hate paying too much for gas? Then you need Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy saves you money no matter where you fill up. Download the app or visit GasBuddy.com. Gas Buddy, fuel better.
Danny's DNS TV and Appliances is ready to serve you at 158 Central Street, Millville. Danny's is a family business selling top brand name appliances and TVs, and they are your big screen TV headquarters. Come in and enjoy the big screen TV experience, complete with the latest technology in picture and sound. If you're upgrading, Danny's is ready to answer all your questions relating to contrast, picture tube darkness, screen surface, resolution, and more. They'll give you the right answers. Danny's DNS TV and Appliances, 158 Central Street, Millville. From Woonsocket, take a right at the Connector Road off Great Road. 508-883-5862.
Community Care Alliance is open. We know that social isolation is hard and that many people are facing financial uncertainty at this time. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, declining mental status, or with obtaining basic needs, please call our intake line at 235-7121. Be assured that safety is our utmost concern and safeguards are in place, including providing counseling by telehealth. Help is just a phone call away. Call 235-7121 to learn how we may assist you during this difficult time.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee In on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan with Ed Crew, Linda Tebow, and John Martin from AARP. And John, time for first message from AARP.
Well, you know, we work for older Rhode Islanders every day. Today, we are submitting written testimony to the House Judiciary Committee regarding its consideration on bills that will determine how the September primary elections will be conducted. For nearly 40 years, the turnout of voters over the age of 45 has significantly outpaced that of younger Americans.
Mm-hmm.
For example, according to U.S. Census Bureau data for the 2016 presidential election, 71% of Americans over the age of 65 voted. That's compared to just 46% for 18 to 29-year-olds. So the older vote is important, and their safety is especially important during the pandemic. So in order to protect Rhode Island voters, election officials, and workers who staff polling locations, many of whom are retirees, AARP believes the General Assembly should act to promote alternative means for a voter to cast his or her ballot, specifically the use of unrestricted mail ballots for all registered voters. I will, in my second segment, come back and specify some of the parts of the bill that we're supporting and things that we are important as legislators deliberate on exactly how the September 8th primary will be run. But AARP is there and advocating for the rights of our 132,000 members, and we will be offering testimony to House Judiciary today. So we're on top of it.
All right.
So I'll tell you more a little bit later.
All right, John, very good. And you know what, Ed and Linda, John is making my point for me. So thanks, John. And it's all in terms of the vote that's going to be on the ballot this November to change the name of the state of Rhode Island. Now, it's my thinking that if the older population, and I'm going to talk maybe 45 and up, come out to vote, and John, you say that percentage is pretty high, right?
71% of voters in that age group vote.
There you
voted
go.
In 16.
that age group are the people that want to keep the name just the way it is, and it's the younger people that want to get rid of the term Providence Plantations, for the most part. So if the 71% show up to vote and to keep the name, I don't think the younger crowd's going to come up with that kind of high percentage, and so therefore the state the name of the state may stay the same.
What do you think of that, Linda? I'm very interested in what you think about that.
I think you're right, Joe.
Thanks, Linda.
Seniors, I've been in politics a long time, and I've had every candidate for town administrator calling me for endorsement and stuff in our own local election. Seniors vote.
Mm-hmm.
Seniors absolutely vote. Statistically, whatever. It is what it is. I do think the older population, the senior population, probably wants to stay the same with the plantations. That's our name. I feel like that. But I think we're going to see more younger voters coming up because of all of all the youth organized protests and what they're believing in. So I think this election, we're going to see more young folks.
Enough to overtake?
I don't know enough to overtake because we have a very high senior population in the state of Rhode Island, and seniors vote. I mean, you say mail ballots. My mother died at 98 years old, and up to the time she was 96, she went to the polls. Only in the last couple of years I did get her an absent, a mail ballot because it was easier for her. And, of course, she was a naturalized citizen, so she voted till the day she died, one way or another.
You wouldn't want her to be a poll worker at 96.
No. Have you ever been a poll worker?
No.
I was once. It was the worst job I ever had in my life. Oh, my God. They talked me into it. I wasn't working full-time, and I said, all right, because the town clerk needed people.
Yeah.
I'd never do it again.
Only one election,
huh? I only want to weigh in insofar as I get a little nervous anytime anyone makes general statements about older people or seniors because they're not necessarily all of the same mind. And also that...
No, they're not. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. Yes.
And I think that, today's 65-year-old is a very different, quote, senior citizen.
Sure.
For most people, 65, they are so not wanting to be even labeled that. And that's an indication of how they think differently than maybe 65-year-olds did a generation ago. Joe, you may be right, but I think that it implies that all old people think the same way, and they're all old school, and they're all conservative, and in choices such as this. But certainly at the 65 range, at the start of that demographic, I think things are different. I think people are better informed. I think they're more active. Most are still working, and that sort of changes that assumption we might make about that group, particularly on this issue.
Okay, and you're right, John.
And John, I think you're right because I've worked with the boomers, and I'm one of the older seniors. I'm the greatest generation, but I think you're right. The boomers are a different breed of seniors. They're very active. They're very health conscious. They're still working and all of the above. So I think you're absolutely right on that. But
we also are children of the 60s, and there still is some of that fight left in a lot of us. That
exactly. But they might be fighting for something else. They might be not fighting. But, there is a distinct, and that's been the challenge for us with senior services now aging well, to provide programming that the boomers want and as versus to all the seniors, especially, you've got so many living in high-rises in Woonsocket. That's part of our catchment. A very high senior population, of older folks as well, older seniors like myself, who may still be working or living in their own homes. And these are the people, that were brought up by parents that grew up in the depression and such, and work hard and you'll do well kind of a thing. But seniors vote. You're absolutely right.
Seniors vote.
You want to weigh in on this?
Just at that, if you look at just that demographic, and our membership is 50 and older, so we have a big bottom end of that demographic that's very different from the way we thought a generation ago about aging, and for some people thought a year ago about aging, frankly.
All right, let's get Ed's point on the whole voting thing and who's going to come out and not.
Well, I think for the most part, the older generation votes more than the younger generation has in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think Linda brought out the fact that there seems to be more activism, or there is more activism, and that they may vote more this year, and in the future than they have in the past. I agree with that wholeheartedly. If you're asking me what I think of dropping the name Providence Plantations, I don't think it should be dropped. I think the people who want to get rid of the name don't understand where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Plantation, when Providence Plantation came about, was just the name that they gave a place when they established a new village or whatever. Plymouth Plantation in 1620 was established, right? Had nothing to do with slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And eventually, a little while later, several years later, I don't know exactly how many years later, the Roger Williams got kicked out of Massachusetts and established a place in Rhode Island called Providence Plantation. It was normal to call newly established villages a plantation. Mm-hmm. All of this was before slavery. Mm-hmm. So for those people who think that Providence Plantations is offensive because of slavery, one has nothing to do with the other.
Absolutely.
Yet Plymouth Plantation is changing their name.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They haven't said what to.
No, but they said they're going to change it too.
And make it more towards the indigenous Native Americans.
I thought they were just changing the name of the museum, not the name of the area itself.
No, I thought they were changing the whole name.
That's not what was reported.
We're getting rid of the plantation name.
The museum is going to protect it in reference to the indigenous people, but it wasn't the whole area.
We'll see what they come out with then.
See what they come up with. Yeah.
Okay.
Whether they change it or not doesn't change my point.
Yeah.
No,
right.
and Ed well said, and absolutely right. And and it goes back to the point. Take down the statues, change the names. What next?
Everything will be
if you want to go even further, then I guess we need to change the name of Slatersville and the Slater Mill in Pawtucket because of child labor, and that's why the Slaters went to Slater, to North Smithfield because of all the farms and the kids, and there was child labor. Do we change that too?
Well, we'll get to that in a couple of years, Linda.
Where does it stop?
I don't know.
When do we start taking the children away from the parents to indoctrinate them into what we believe?
When you keep bringing that up, Linda, and it just reminds me of the book Animal Farm by George Orwell.
All right.
And I don't know if you remember reading it. You probably did, but you probably haven't read it in a while.
Yeah.
But there's a scene not a scene like it's a movie. there's a portion in the book where one of there's a dog on the farm, and she has puppies. And as soon as she has the puppies, the pigs who are running the farm take them away from her.
Yes.
And you don't see the dogs until later in the book. And they've been raised by the pigs. They're now the Secret Service. Right. They've been raised as the police. The guard. They're not really the police. They're the guards of the pigs now. And they're bloodthirsty. They kill other animals.
Yeah.
So you're right. We got to take it. If we keep going,
I think they call that Marxism, isn't it?
Yes, we're gonna take them away as soon as they're born, and then we'll teach them how to think the way we want them to think.
Yeah, exactly.
Read the book; it's great.
Yeah, no, it's true. I know, and thank you for remembering that because yes, but it's where does it stop?
I don't know.
Where does it stop? And so people do need to vote. To vote. I'm a fan of going to the polls, though.
So am I.
John, I like the polls.
And in Mass, it's even less restrictive than Rhode Island. I find that so funny, Ed.
Really?
Well, in Rhode Island, you got to show an ID to vote, and we don't have
yes,
to.
in Rhode Island we do. We show an ID to vote.
We just throw out names, streets and names.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah.
And they put a little red check mark. Okay, you're all set.
Yep.
And if you can read upside down, you can be anybody.
Right. All right. Doesn't matter. What is it? Vote often and
vote early and vote often.
Vote early, vote often. Huh? Yeah.
We had a message that was written in basically to Linda, just saying Linda's mother, 96 and still voting. Now that's dedication.
Well, she voted. Well, you know what? And yeah, she always voted. She voted till she was 98, till she died.
Wow.
Like twice by mail ballot. At the end. But this woman came as a babe in arms. She always said she had a ticket and she was sponsored and they had jobs and places to live. But she valued, because she became a citizen, she valued that right to vote, and she never ever missed an election. And that's how we were brought up, and how my kids were brought up. They vote.
Yeah.
My kids vote.
Good for her.
Right. But she was a strong woman.
We got to take a second break again here in the Coffee and program, so it's time for a second message from AARP. So back to you, John.
All right, I just want to fill in some of the blanks in our testimony today before the House Judiciary Committee regarding the election. We believe that the Assembly should act to promote a means for a voter to cast his or her ballot. Older Rhode Islanders should not have to risk their lives or help to vote. We think that mail ballots should be available as well as open polling places so that people have a choice. We're recommending that mail ballots postmarked by Election Day and received within 3 days of the election, or received without a postmark the day after election, should be counted. Moreover, an adequate number of drop boxes should be used so that voters who do not wish to mail in their ballot can safely and easily access a drop box. So you have this option of it being more like replicating dropping your ballot in a polling place rather than going by way of the U.S. mail. And in addition, AARP in public discussions over the past 2 months or so has recommended 2 priorities we believe must not be overlooked. Mandate in-person polling places be open, not abandoned in any predominantly mail ballot-only elections. And require the Secretary of State to start recording mail-in ballots 20 days prior to Election Day. And I think that people who followed closely what happened in the Kentucky state primary probably would appreciate the reasoning behind that, so that we don't have an election night where the vote is still in question because of mail ballot.
Right.
So those have been our strong positions. We've been very active, and we will be submitting testimony today. You can learn more about it. We'll be posting our testimony at aarp.org/RI, where you can find out a lot about what we're doing, as well as via Facebook. We'll keep you up to date.
Okay, John, thanks. Okay, more of the Coffee and program is coming your way. Please don't go anywhere. All 3 locations of the Honey Shop are open. 6 Winthrop Street and 1300 Park Avenue, both in Woonsocket, and 108 Mechanic Street in Bellingham. Something new at all 3 Honey Shop locations is fresh Bulgarian yogurt. No sugars, no colors, no synthetic vitamins, just simple pasteurized whole milk and cultures. Be sure to go to the Honey Shop's Facebook page and see all their upcoming events and classes that you can participate in. If you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop.
Is your business struggling to be found on Google? Are you still trying to figure out how Facebook works? Are you wasting your money on social media? Do you just need more customers? If you do, then contact the local digital marketing team at Breeze Digital Media in Lincoln. Breeze Digital Media has programs that are approved by Google and Facebook and are designed to grow your business. Packages start at only $199 a month and include easy monthly reporting so you know where your investment is going. Contact Breeze Digital Media for a free marketing analysis of your business today. Call 401-334-9555, extension 154, anytime, or visit breezedigitalmedia.com/offer.
The St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center is excited to announce that it has now reopened for tours. Tours will continue to be held on Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m. The center will be following face covering and social distancing guidelines. Please visit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website for additional COVID-19 visitor information and for any changes to tour dates and times. We look forward to seeing you at the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee Ann on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan here with John Martin and Linda Tebow and Ed Carew. Okay, moving on to another subject, and I love this, as I say sarcastically. All right, the Pawtucket City Council. The Pawtucket City Council. They want state lawmakers because we need more or stronger fireworks legislation because that's going to stop the people from setting off the fireworks if we have more laws.
Yeah.
I say that with tongue firmly planted in cheek.
Tongue in cheek, yeah, exactly.
If we have more laws, this won't happen anymore. Now, I know a lot of fireworks were set off, not only in Pawtucket, but in Woonsocket and
People's Republic of
Middleborough. Brockton had a lot of problems with it as well. Los Angeles had a lot of problems with it as well. But stronger fireworks legislation is not going to stop them. And I've even seen signs, the message boards that are along the roads. You know, aerial fireworks are illegal in Rhode Island. $1,000 fine. Okay, raise it to $10,000. Raise it to $100,000. Doesn't matter. They're still wherever they get them from. They're going to get them from, and they're going to light them off.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's almost like gun control laws.
Yeah.
If we put more laws in, then the bad guys aren't going to go out and buy guns.
Wrong.
Well, first of all, the bad guys don't go out and buy guns.
No.
They go out and steal guns.
Steal them.
That's what they do. So,
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is going to go anywhere with what Pawtucket is asking state lawmakers to do. We need more stronger. But I can see where a Pawtucket state lawmaker may introduce something. Look, I'm doing what my constituents want. Okay, let's make it stronger. Okay, now the fine's $10,000.
They just need more enforcement. That's all.
Yeah,
you know.
That's also
hard
tough.
That's hard
to
to do.
enforce fireworks when they're being shot off.
No,
You
exactly.
Can't be everywhere. So, just thought I'd bring that up. I feel much better now.
You do, huh?
now that yes, now
I
that
can tell. He's got a big smile on his face now. Instead of a frown.
What's that, John?
We solved that problem now. We can just
I've solved it.
Yeah.
I'm on one of those community web groups, and I have never seen a more contentious discussion
about fireworks
than what I saw last week about fireworks. Oh, it got nasty.
Really?
Were people split 50-50, people that like them and people that don't like them?
There was sort of this typical attack on one person who suggested that someone who was so obsessed with this issue that they should seek mental health treatment.
Wow.
And
that's
so,
rough.
Let's just say that did not go over well.
I bet not.
The dog owners, and most people were reasonable. I think, there were people who would say, why not say 9 p.m. to midnight on July 4th, go for it. It's this 2 or 3 days before and after, 2 o'clock in the morning, that's excessive. And, I think a lot of people agree with that. But unfortunately, others who have this infatuation with fireworks and combine it maybe with a few extra beers,
they'll just do it anyway. Yeah.
Do what they want to do. Yeah.
Safe combination.
Yeah. That's funny that you mentioned that, John, that it's okay if we'll make it legal during this time period. You ever seen the movie The Purge? This is taking it to a real extreme. The Purge is for 12 hours.
To kill people.
Everything's you can do anything you want.
Anything you
All
want.
killing, all stealing, all that is perfectly legal. We need to get it out of your system. If it's 12 hours to do it, go nuts.
Wow.
Of course, that's.
Do you think there was more? I think there was more of the illegals this year. Maybe because we didn't have so many of the firework displays. The professional.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
And I think a lot.
And so people took it upon themselves. All right, we'll just do our own.
We'll do our own. Yeah.
So.
I think Joe mentioned off the air earlier that instead of all this fireworks, people would just go to Chuck E. Cheese and then get it out of their system.
I would love to do that, but they're closed.
As a matter of fact, anytime you eat at Chuck E. Cheese, you get it out of your system.
Well, you're on today.
I do enjoy playing that whack-a-mole game. So,
yeah.
For people who missed our in-depth Chuck E. Cheese discussion last week,
yes.
That may be slightly off, but
they've got to pay attention and watch every Tuesday. That's all.
I'm building ratings. You can't tune away. You cannot tune away.
That's perfect. All right. As now, we're all supposed to be still keeping all 6 feet apart and like that. And some establishments, adhere to that. Some are not. And but I gotta like what this guy in England is doing, who owns a bar. Okay, a pub in England is making sure bar patrons keep their distance. He has installed an electric fence. How great is this?
Oh my gosh!
Johnny McFadden runs the Star Inn. It's in rural St. Just, Cornwall, if you know your geography of England, and wanted to put a barrier in front of the bar to prevent customers from overcrowding. So he hung an electric fence from 2 pillars a few feet in front of the bar.
Oh my god!
And he hung a sign that says "Electric Danger."
Oh my!
Now he does go on to say the fence is not turned on.
Oh, okay.
But
that's good.
But all you have to do is, but it could be, and all people got to do is read the sign. And are you going to touch an electric fence? And say, well, maybe it's not turned on. Nope. It's doing what it says. It serves as a fearful reminder to keep social distancing. Bars in England have been allowed to reopen since July 4th, and at least 3 pubs have had to shut down because of outbreaks of COVID-19. So he doesn't want to shut down, so he put up a fake electric fence. Well, it's not fake; it's just not turned on. What a great idea!
Yeah,
and that'll keep people back.
Wow,
they probably got to
pay attention.
They probably turn sideways to try to shuffle in, so we don't touch the fence at all. The problem is leaving the bar after you've had a few too many.
Yeah, really.
How do you avoid?
That's when you turn it on. You're bouncing around.
Oh Lord!
We'll just put it on the low voltage, like 10 volts. That should be fine. That's like a low voltage battery. You something that you've noticed. Hey, that was something, but it's not. It's not going to kill you. So, all right. So that's what they're doing in England. Here's what we're doing in the United States. This is our tax money at work. Ready? This is money. This is money that should be going to AARP, John, and is not. Okay. A former Defense Department staffer says world leaders need to investigate UFOs to learn whether or not they're a threat. Like we should go up and visit them and ask.
Well, that'll wow.
Luis Elizondo worked in the Office of Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence before leaving the agency nearly 3 years ago. He's now a director at a private agency pursuing evidence of unidentified flying objects. And now Elizondo says evaluating potential threats posed by UFOs should involve the collaboration of leaders around the world. He said it's impossible to say for sure that UFOs are harmless and that interest extends far beyond the United States. This is money well spent. Whether or not UFOs...
He worked for the Department of Intelligence, huh?
Well, he did.
Yeah, where's George Carlin when we need him?
That's right. That's right. He no longer works there.
Wow.
Under a private agency pursuing evidence of unidentified flying objects. I just wonder how he's getting paid to do this. Who is funding this private agency? And you can't contact these UFOs even if you do see one. And I heard there were some glowing orbs somewhere. And I thought it was Seattle, but I'm not positive about that. I didn't see them myself.
Yeah.
I didn't. I just heard someone report on them. There were some glowing orbs in the night. So, how do you investigate something you can't see or touch or communicate with? How do you know if they're a threat or not? They just want to say hi.
If they were a threat, they would. You would know about it.
You wouldn't
be here to talk about it. Anybody or anything who was intelligent enough to come from wherever they come from to come here is going to be much
more
far advanced than we are. And if they were a threat, we wouldn't be discussing it.
Okay, all right. You should get a hold of Elizondo over there and say,
if they're showing up in 2020, Ed, how smart could they be?
Wow.
maybe they came here for some laughs.
We got plenty of those.
They came back to see. We started it back in March. We'll come back in a couple of months and we'll see what the chaos that's going on.
Maybe they could help us cure the COVID-19.
Hey, now there's an idea. Did you read that not only can, I saw this yesterday, not only can humans get COVID-19, there is a gorilla in Florida has COVID-19.
Does he?
For some reason, they decided to test them. And this is the story. 2 gorillas actually got into a fight. You know, it's human nature.
Is this like 2 gorillas walked into a bar?
That's something like that. No, they got into a fight. It's probably over a female.
All over that.
And so one had damage. They had cuts and bruises and scrapes and like that. So they took it in, tranquilized it to clean up the wounds. And they said, "Hey, while we're here, and while the gorilla's sedated." Well, they decided to check to see if they tested it like they tested for humans, and sure enough, the gorillas got COVID-19. Now they didn't say whether or not we got to separate it from the other gorillas or not, or whatever, so it doesn't pass it along. But they didn't say whether they're going to do it. And I've heard cats can get it, or can they transmit it?
Well, dogs have dogs. There have been cases of dogs that had it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad we're passing it around to all the species.
Yeah.
We don't want to just keep it to ourselves. That would be dull. All right, so be on the lookout. If your pet gorilla is acting funny, it may have COVID-19. Okay.
There you go.
And get it tested if you can. All right.
Write that down.
Please write that down. Bring it to Chuck E. Cheese first, and get it a pizza. All right, we got to run. That does it for the show. So thank you for listening in, everyone. So John Martin, thanks for listening, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, well.
Oh, we lost control, Joe.
All right.
You got to laugh.
That's right.
Laugh.
Linda, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure as always.
All right, Ed Crew, thanks for coming in.
I can't believe it.
What's that?
that I'm here.
See, you never.
Am I really here?
I think you're here.
Oh, okay.
Your UFO is waiting. Can
yeah,
you,
yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. My other vehicle's a Federation Starship.
That's right. All right. This is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone, and we will talk to you this afternoon here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live